Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're going to be taking a first look at a game that is still in early access, and so presumably is still a little bit rough around the edges, but is absolutely fascinating in its concept. The game we're going to be looking at, you can see in front of you, is called A Legionaries Life, and this is a game that very explicitly puts you in the shoes of an ordinary Roman soldier during the Second Punic War. The trailer basically says you are not the general. You are an ordinary legionary, and you are tasked with seeing if you can rise through the ranks of the Roman Republic's forces and rise to fame, or if you would rather just try and focus on surviving. Because the Second Punic War, as those of you who may know, is the war in which Hannibal crossed the Alps with the elephants and crushed the Romans at Cannae, and also won other victories as well. And really kind of, if you're a Roman soldier and you're thinking about some of those battles that occurred in this war, merely surviving in this era would not have been super easy. Now, I do want to call out, this game looks to me, I don't know much about it other than looking at the Steam page, but it does look to me that it's developed by one individual, I think, maybe a team, but it says the developer is Alessandro Roberti, and also the publisher as well. So no publishing studio or anything like that behind this. This seems to be an indie game and is interesting in concept, so let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so we're going to start off with creating our character. We can focus on a physical character, a balanced character, or a smart character. We're going to go with balanced. I don't know if I can... it doesn't look like I can directly... We just roll? Oh, okay, so you can like roll the dice. It doesn't look like you can individually control what your attributes are, but we could... I suppose you just roll based on... Why would I get weaker? Oh, okay. Well, whatever. It appears that in character creation, you get to choose either you want a physical, a balanced, or a mental legionary. You can choose to... Basically, it gives you a random dice roll based off of... So, like, if we go back here and we go back in, we go to new character, we can see everything immediately starts out at 50 even, which would be obviously balanced. But we can choose either a mental or a physical emphasis. We can roll our dice to see how things change and how our attributes are different. And it seems a little bit random here, but you can see, for example, we just picked physical, and we'll switch it over to mental, and we rolled again. We got 50 strength, 49 endurance, 73 constitution, 48 quickness, 49 coordination, 59 charisma, 41 awareness, and 52 intellect. As opposed to 50 across the board, we have a pretty big benefit over just the starting value because Constitution is much higher, slightly lower on endurance, quickness, coordination, and awareness, but intellect and charisma also both higher. So I think we'll take this result with a 50 in strength, and we'll see really how this plays out. We can choose our names. We're going to go with the historical... Whoops, can't capitalize that apparently. Butcher. That's going to be a long name, but... that's what we're going to go with. The First War lasted for over 20 years. Conflict had been only a matter of time. Once the relentless expansion of Rome came close to the huge Carthaginian sphere of influence. A young power propelled by a staggering self-confidence, Rome had most of the Italic peninsula under its control at the time. On the other side was the Punic city of Carthage, a centuries-old naval colossus dominating the western Great Sea. An insurmountable gap in power and prestige seemed to divide the two cities. Unexpectedly, the Roman Republic emerged victorious, incomplete as the victory was. Building upon its success, the city's maritime territory grew larger and more secure, while humiliating conditions well beyond the actual extent of the defeat were imposed upon Carthage. Nevertheless, the price was tremendous for both parties. Some say that not even Alexander's conquest devoured so many lives. It all paled in comparison to what was to come. The truce that followed lasted for a generation. You were a child when the situation hovered on the brink of war once again. You still remember the talk in Rome back then, when everybody this feels very much like, I don't know how well you can hear the music, but it feels very much like Star Wars-y kind of epic music. Remember the talk in Rome back when everybody expected the looming conflict to take place in the distant colonies of Hispania to the west, now that an attack by sea was nigh impossible. The astonishment when news reached the city is still fresh in your memory. A bold, not yet 30 Carthaginian general named Hannibal Barca, had led an army through the lands of the fierce Gauls and across the mountains to the north. The war was here, in Italia, a few hundred miles from Rome itself. The following years were marked by growing panic as reports of whole armies annihilated. Okay, so this seems to be taking place after the Battle of Cannae. Armies annihilated by Hannibal kept coming. The Punic general was stronger, smarter than anything Rome had ever faced before. Yet his attempt to turn the Italic armies on the Republic was unsuccessful. Defeating him in a pitched battle was beyond the realms of possibility. That much was clear to the Romans. At the same time, he could not lay siege to the capital. The conflict turned into an endless war of attrition. Meanwhile, another war was being fought in faraway Hispania. Crucial. Wow, this is a lot of narration. I'm sure you guys could read this. I probably don't have to just read this to you. I thought it was going to be like a short 3-line blurb. About a year ago, the Roman legions were soundly defeated, and their comrade proconsul Publius Cornelius Scipio and his brother Gnaeus were killed. What little remained of the army was now controlling a small patch of land. Even after reinforcements joined the survivors, the situation looked more desperate than ever. Okay. When the Central Assembly had to appoint a new proconsul, only Scipio Sonia. Okay, yeah. So it's giving us the whole story of the Second Punic War. You, on the other hand, had no choice at all. Right after you had come of age, you were enrolled in a freshly raised legion, part of a second 11,000-strong reinforcement bound to accompany the new proconsul. After a brief training period, you embarked on a long journey to Hispania. Now you've reached your destination and joined what is left of the previous army. Apparently, with the Romans out of the picture, the Carthaginians have divided into 3 large hosts, each of them at least as big as your current force. They are a long way from your headquarters, committed to securing the whole region. So far away from your home that you can hardly comprehend the distance, with little to no chance of ever seeing your family again. Deprived of most of the rights you held as a civilian, you feel strangely calm as you prepare to face the hardships to come. Okay. Part 1, time left. It looks like this is a bar that counts down. Our character, our skills are 29 sword, 29 shield, 29 javelin. We probably need to get those up. Long sword 26, polearm 20, axe mace 20. Awareness being 39 is low. That looks like it's a concern that it's in red. None of the other scores are in red. You're a simple legionary, one of about 120 in a maniple, a small tactical unit led by 2 centurions. Our wage is 122, fixed costs are 28, effective pay is 74. We're in the hastati line. So if you remember, there's the hastati, there's the principe, and there's the triharii. I think the hastati are the frontline soldiers, the youngest soldiers, the least experienced soldiers, and also the first to die. So we'll see how that all plays out. Virtue, morale is content. Virtue, blank. Troops' opinion of us is blank. Centurion, proconsul. Okay. So, deeds, what's this? You have not been awarded any decorations yet? Okay, so nothing. That's a tracking accomplishments. Our inventory, we have 2 javelins, we have a shield, we have, looks like a Gladys, Italian Xephos sword, damage 1 to 12, anti-armor 28, handiness 51, reach 2, crafting quality 2, material quality 2, whatever. No 0 of these things? Like, whatever. Okay. I don't have any shin guards either by the look of it. Yeah, no cover on the arm, groin, or leg. Limited cover on the torso, neck, and head. So those are things we probably want to work on. Looks like we can... Okay, so we looked at our character inventory and deeds. We can buy and sell. You can either spend time searching for items to buy or sell your own. Your int and your awareness, to a lesser extent, will help you find items of better quality. Well, our intuition is bad, so let's exit out of here. I don't want to search. Let's go to training, and let's do... Okay, I guess javelin practice? You employ a fair share of your... So this is very much a text-based game, by the way. My javelin skill has increased. I'm going to keep increasing that javelin skill. You're training too hard. Your morale is suffering as a result. Morale is decreased by 3. Oh. Training doesn't seem... My morale is still content. Okay. Workouts. What's this? Quickness and endurance. Swim improves your coordination and endurance. Gym improves your strength and constitution. Well, what's our character again? So our awareness needs to go up. I don't know how you do that. But coordination and quickness could go up. Endurance could go up. Javelin skill's gone up a bit. But, so let's do coordination and endurance. Okay, so my coordination is increased to 50. So let's exit out of here. What do we do for leisure? My charisma is actually pretty decent. Okay. Inventory. Still at 62 coins. I suppose we could do, we could search here, right? Where was that again? Extra patrol. How do I improve my awareness? So if you have lower intellect, you get a better morale boost. Okay. Let's search. Let's see what happens here. If you start another search, items currently unsellable. Oh, so I'm just looking through shit. I mean, I don't really want to buy stuff. God damn it, so what am I supposed to do? Extra coaching. You must be at least an Opto or a Centurion to access this activity. So maybe to get coaching... Alright, so let's do an extra patrol. You volunteer for an extra patrol duty. Your opinion has increased by 1. You volunteer for some boring extra guard duty. Your opinion troop is increased by 2. Your opinion centurion is increased by 1. Your morale is decreased by 2. We'll spend 40 denarii to get a... Wow! You offer an expensive sacrifice to the gods. You feel confident they'll protect you from the perils to come. Your morale is increased by 20. You have lost 20 denarii, but that morale is very high. So let's use that. Let's take advantage of that. Okay, so our sword practice is now improving as well. We're up to 31. Javelin's 33. So we'll do a little bit more. Okay, we're training too hard. Your morale is decreased by 3. Okay, that's fine. So sword and javelin are up to 33. Probably need to improve our shield skills. My morale is really dropping, though. Nonetheless, I'm trying to get my... So we're taking huge morale hits here. Actually, apparently my sword skill goes up when I do this as well. Sword and shield. You receive your regular pay, 37 denarii. Okay, so we now have how much money? We're at 59, which is not much worse than where we were at before. So why don't we actually... Whoops. Leisure. Have fun. You'll spend 10 denarii and your morale will increase a little. If you do this too often, the effect will be dampened. Your virtue will decrease. Okay. I don't want to do something that depends on my intellect. Might increase the tree's opinion by a tiny amount, depending on your charisma. No matter what, there's also a chance morale improve. All right, let's hang around. My morale increases by 1. Okay. The thread of your life is spun. You're on guard duty when you hear a strange noise. It came from somewhere to your left. Oh boy. A strange noise. Investigate. It's just an owl. What a relief. You go back to your post. The rest of your shift passed without incident. So, does that looks like that improves my intellect, not my awareness. My awareness is what matters. I mean, that's the one that's really low. A lot of times sparring with whoever's available. I don't get any better. All right. 2 fellow soldiers are playing dice next to you. Suddenly, the one named Metellus turns on Volscius and calls him a cheater. From where you stand, you are not sure whether he's right or wrong. Mind my own business? You step in, siding with Volscius, but it becomes a lost cause rather quickly. Everybody else sticks up for Metellus until Volscius is forced to give back the money he won. You notice that Metellus and some of his friends are muttering amongst themselves while throwing sideways glances at you. You leave before it gets worse. No, nobody likes me. Oh. Troop opinion of me has fallen. Workouts. Coordination and endurance. I'm not getting better. Time is over. Move on to your next main battle as you feel ready. All right, so we're out of time, so I think we have to move on. We can't continue to train or anything like that. So before we go into our first fight, because this is not super exciting thus far, our health is at 73, strength 50, endurance 50, constitution 73, quickness 49, coordination 50, charisma 59, awareness 39, intellect 52. Sword, javelin, and sword, shield, and javelin skills are 36, 33, 33. Longsword 32, polearm 25, axe mace 25. Effective pay is 74. I don't think we have that much money. Currently, we only have 50. I can't even buy more shit right now. So, all right. So let's move on, and we'll see what happens in our battle. The camp bursts into activity as the whole army prepares to leave. You march to the south. It doesn't take long for your destination to become apparent. You're bound for New Carthage, the capital of the Carthaginian colonies here in Hispania. It's a daring move and very risky. Several days later, you reach your destination and set camp not far from the city. According to Camp Talk, the closest enemy army is about 10 days' march from here. A long siege is out of the question. You'll have to take New Carthage by storm. You cast a glance at the city walls, strong stone walls. The thought of fighting your way up there makes your stomach churn. It's hard not to think that you may be looking at the place where your days will end. Okay, so morale's content, virtue's flat. Troops' opinion of us is pretty flat. There's no deeds. Can't really do anything with inventory. Character we've already looked at, so it's just a matter of fighting the battle. The next morning, your maniple is among the first to move out of the camp and reach the plain right in front of the city. If what your centurion said is true, the garrison of New Carthage consists of a small mercenary army, possible 1,000 strong, and of course the city militia. You are taking your place in the battlefield when all of a sudden, cries of alarm rise from the ranks. You look ahead with a start. The city gate is wide open. A screaming mass numbering thousands leaves the safety of the walls, quickly closing the gap with your partially deployed first line. Judging by their scant equipment, they must be the militia. The enemy commander wouldn't risk his precious mercenaries like this. Blood pounding in your ears, you get ready to receive them as the first battle of your life engulfs you. When the other side is at the right distance, you prepare to hurl your javelin. You take aim at one of the enemy soldiers and hurl your javelin. Not a bad throw, but it misses the intended target. As the other side gets closer and closer, you steel yourself for the incoming fight. Alright, so we're fighting against a militiaman. I don't know what any of these icons mean. Okay. Yep. Don't know what any of this means. Javelin. Close in. Pass up the javelin and throw and engage in melee combat. Javelin. Success, health damage. Failure, attacker stance reduced by 10 to 20 if a quick check against the opponent fails. Fatigue cost 3. Indicators high. Wound the opponent. Chance for... Okay, so yeah, let's try the javelin. Shield is broken. Nice. So you can hover your mouse over any element of the combat UI to view its tooltips for... Okay. Every time it's your turn to act, you can... Whatever, I don't want to go through this whole tutorial. Alright, so... We broke his shield, so I think... But in a new menu where you can select a specific soft spot attack. Soft spot attack works like a normal attack, except that your weapon's skill has greater influence. Yeah. We'll just attack. We're going to attack his torso, because his shield's gone, right? Hit. Alright, so he missed. We'll go for his torso again. Another hit. Succeed. Where does it tell me, like, his overall health? Ah, we missed the hit, the head strike. Cancel that. Nice, hit him in the neck. How does he successfully recover? I don't understand that. Like, alright, yeah, it's fine, don't worry, you just got hit in the neck. That's weird that the neck attack wouldn't do much. This must be like your fatigue. This must be your health. This is your fatigue. Health. What is this again? Stats. Okay, so health is top left, stance is top right, and then fatigue is the bottom. Okay. Okay. We're going to keep going for the torso. His health is low, and his, looks like his feints are likely failing. You won't be able to keep facing the current enemy for much longer. God damn it, that miss could have finished him off. Stop missing! Eventually, the enemy formation starts breaking apart. Very soon, panic spreads and their wavering and turns into a rout. Alright, so the Carthaginian militia is in disarray. We didn't finish him off. An improvised pursuit is attempted, but your vanguard stopped at the city gate before you can break in. Okay, so we didn't kill the guy. Centurion beckons to some of your comrades after a brief talk. They move away from the manifold. You wonder what's going on. The rest of you will storm the city walls. Many ladders are propelled against the walls, while a constant shower of missiles are raining down from the battlements. The Centurion promised to share a generous portion of his reward should he manage to be the first man over the walls. Do my best to help the Centurion. You're one of the first to spring forward, determined to open the way. You stumble, losing speed and balance. Now you make for an easy target. Okay. One of the missiles hits you. Your health is decreased by 4. You're way too vulnerable here. You're hit again. Your health was decreased by 6. The defender's resistance gets more and more reckless. With despair, there's no way to reach the top. At last, the Centurion has noticed your intrepid efforts. The cacophony is unbearable. Cries from both enemy and allies blend with the thuds and storms of smaller projectiles bouncing around you. Suddenly, the noise begins to dwindle and fade. You can't believe what you're seeing. Hundreds of Roman legionaries are running along the top of the wall, coming from the north. How did they get there? Anyhow, the Punics are melting before them, leaving the battlements unguarded. In the end, your allies reach the gate and open it, letting in the bulk of your legion. Okay. You follow your maniple into the city streets. Your orders are very clear. Secure the city by killing everything that meets you in the open. Hopefully no one will be so ill-considered. Your thoughts are interrupted when a small number of militiamen stand in your path. Oh boy. Missed. Okay. God damn it. I don't know if that thud means like they're actually hitting the shield or what. I can't recover. What the fuck? 2 of your comrades joined the fight. Okay, my comrades are going to kill them. Man, I kind of suck. I've got no stance here. My stance is terrible, which means I'm not going to succeed in attack. Okay, so my allies killed him. You look at the militiaman's lifeless body, quick thoughts flickering through your mind. After surveying yet another clash, you feel exhilarated with a sense of invincibility. An officer yelling out orders brings you back down to earth with a bump. You move on. You keep marching along the streets as is custom. Looting is strictly prohibited until the battle is over. Okay. It's almost conquered, but 500 mercenaries from the garrison are still holding the citadel. Your proconsul's looking for volunteers for an assault on the last bastion. He's throwing in a more than double loot share. These mercenaries are nothing like the militia you've been facing until now. They may not be the enemy's best troops. They wouldn't have been left here if they were, but they're still professional soldiers. Only the most experienced legionaries are volunteering. No one would blame you if you back off. We'll volunteer. Everybody's going to think highly of me as I get killed. All right, so let's just throw it into the ranks. Or skillfully deflects the missile, but at least you've caused some minor disruption to the enemy formation. All right, so 2 javelins, both missed. I'm gonna fucking die. What's respite do? Well, that failed. Oh, what should I go for? Should I go for his legs? I can't hit him! Ah! No! No, I'm about to die. Can I run? What's the combat log? Shit. Adverse terrain and confined space. I'm dead. There's no way to, like, run away from that combat? Game over. The historical butcher killed no one. I wounded a militia. That's the extent of it. Oh, man. Well, I will say that was an interesting first look. I'm curious how the game develops. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this. I know it's a little bit text-based, and you probably don't want to hear me just reading over and over to you about what's happening. But let me know if this is something you might find interesting. I think it's kind of an interesting little idea. I will probably play it more on my own. But obviously, I think a lot depends on how the game develops. There's a lot of text. It's basically a text-based adventure, at least from what I've seen so far. Although some of the trailer videos seem to imply that there might be like a actual moving around a map element. I haven't seen that, obviously. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, if you want to see more of this, and if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, though, thanks for checking out a first look at a Legionary's life. This is the Historical Gamer once more saying thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm out.